Absolutely. Good to go. Hey, it's hockey day. Welcome to day 2 of Rumble at the Recplex. Game 2 of the Omaha Junior Mavericks weekend in Des Moines. It's going to feature your Junior Mavericks against the Sioux City Junior Musketeers. Orange.
This is Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls?
Sioux Falls Flyers orange.
Dang it. I blew that one, didn't I? Sioux Falls Flyers. We just saw the Musketeers, didn't we?
We did.
Dang it. All right. Scratch that. I'm going to start over. Your Junior Mavericks against the Sioux Falls Flyers. Flyers are in their light jerseys, wearing their whites. Omaha in their darks, their favorite darks. Loving these new dark jerseys that the boys got this year. The cursive Omaha on them. Omaha coming off a big win in their first game against the Junior Buccaneers blue team yesterday. 3-0. The boys pulled off a good fashion victory here. Not a very even balanced game against the Junior Bucks. Probably relatively even shots on goal, slightly favored in Mavericks direction there. Fantastic game by defense, and Rosie, our goaltender, Rosario Caniglia in the net yesterday, saving goals tremendously, staying focused with some awkward shots on net by the Junior Buccaneers. So that takes us to, let's see here, if I pull open some statistics, I might be able to tell you a little information about the tournament. So right now at the Rumble at the Recplex, if I go to the standings, I can tell you that Omaha is currently, let's see here, tied for 3rd. Now we're in 4th place due to a goals for differential. So there's currently 4 teams that are 1-0 after one day of play. So Omaha with the least goal differential, they have a +2, puts them in the lower seed there at the top of the standings. There was a team that ran away with goal scoring. They won 5-10, so they got a +5 goal differential that took the first place spot, and that's Worthington. So currently, Junior Buccaneers are 0-1 since we beat them, and we're facing off against Sioux Falls right now, who are 0-1 also, right below us. They got beat yesterday by that Worthington team, 10-5. So they're coming off a real hard loss, likely gunning, or likely outmatched here in this tournament. We'll see. One of the other Mavs play good when they come out firing hot and win their first game. So we're excited to see a nice, gentle morning start here with the boys getting a good breakfast and a mid-morning. You need to turn off a little power more, or is it just going to sleep too quick on you? Is it going to sleep too quick on you? No? All right. I would like to take a minute to thank some sponsors. I'll kick it off with Nebraska Electric Power Sports. Nebraska Electric Power Sports has electric dirt bikes for all ages. Experience the future of electric dirt bikes, and Nebraska Electric Power Sports sells fun. A big thank you to Grandpa Joe and Joe Chalin Tax Services. Appreciate all your support of the Omaha Junior Mavericks. And then a big shout out to Charleston Homes, providing the best home building experience in Omaha since 2007. Voted #1 in 2025. Thank you, Charleston Homes, for your support. And our original sponsor of the season, Cottonwood Salon Suites. Thank you so much, Aunt Jessie, for all you do for our team and the sponsorship, and appreciate your support. The buzzer sound to end the warm-ups for pregame number 2 of Rumble at the Recplex. A fresh 13 minutes will go on the clock. We'll rotate the Beast, Easton Newcomer, into the net for game 2. Easton will get his first start of the tournament. A very focused the Beast makes his way to the crease with a couple fist bumps from his defenseman. T-squared, Allers, court right, make their way to the center ice for opening face-off drive with Fleming and Nandor. Should be a fun game for Nandor. This is Nandor's team last year. He's got a lot of friends, acquaintances on this team, and he was looking forward to getting physical with some of his old buddies here on the opponent's side. Puck drops. Allers pokes it back to Nanny. Nanny goes across to T-square. T-square's got a skating lane. Lifts it up to the blue line, dumps it in hard. Nandor is forced to keep it in at the blue line, pops it up high at the short wall, falls down at center ice, and now the Flyers will make their way through the neutral zone. A deflected shot by Fleming goes back behind the goal line. He gains some speed coming around the horn. Court right, tries to go cross ice, intercepted, comes out to T-squared in the neutral zone, gains zone, shot deflected by legs, into the corner, T-squared, pop fly into the slot. Flyers pick it up. Flyers trying to skate it out of their zone, get disrupted by Sturba. Sturba keeps it in the zone. Nandy helps out, dumps it back in deep. Flyers pick it up behind the goal line. Sturba on a real aggressive forecheck for his first chip, first shift. Tremaine turns it over in the slot, trickles towards the goalie. Goalie falls on it and swallows it up with the glove, freezes the play. 12:03 left in the first. I'm going to call that the first shot on goal. A trickler from Tremaine. 0-0 the score as we line up for a face-off in Flyers territory. Stoney, Sturba, Tremaine out there on offense with Keeney and the Bear on defense. A loose face-off win comes back to Keeney in the neutral zone. A board pass wild back into Flyers territory. Tremaine missed the poke check, comes out to the red line. A little back and forth in the neutral zone. Flyers lose control as they enter. Nice little soft touch up to Sturba. He loses control of it for a moment. Comes right back to Bear. Bear sidestepping through his own territory. Loses his footing. A rescue by Keeney. Pushed to the boards. Flyers get back control of it in the neutral zone. They reset. Pass it up ahead. Work it up the boards. Bear. Sauce pass over to Keeney. Keeney tries to poke it ahead to Wyatt. Tremaine pinched on the short wall. Comes back to Bear. Bear. Soft touch up to Stoney. Stoney working his way up the neutral zone, dumps and changes. Flyers pop fly it to center ice, intercepted by Ike as he comes off the bench. Heater helps out, gets the puck into the corner. Stoney tries to forecheck. Jack Davis picks up, wings one towards the net. That one flings through the crease to the other corner. Ike picks it up off the short wall, intercepted by Flyers. Circle behind their own net, passing it out of their zone. Nice forecheck by Taz to disrupt the play. Pickpocket. Ike feeds it ahead. Flyers turn it over. Reset. Passing their way through the neutral zone. Poke checked again. Boss disrupts it. Stands him up at the top of the circle. Jack Davis and combination with Schneider get it out of the zone for a moment, but then Flyers dump it in and go for the change. Boss tries to fire one ahead to a forward. Intercepted by Flyers. We get a reset in the neutral zone again. Centering pass by the Flyers. They dump and chase. Ike's going to be the first to get it behind his goal line. Soft touch off the boards. Can't quite get to Patera. Patera, Allers, and Schneider out there now on offense. Boss rings it around the boards. That one comes out of the zone, forcing Flyers to reset again. Schneider goes for the change. Patera on the forecheck. Disruption by Allers creates a turnover. It's nudged off the puck. Flyers recollecting. Centering pass disrupted by feet. Courtright's out there with T-squared now. Touch up to T-squared. T-squared has to hustle for it. From the corner. Hits the brakes behind the goal line. Stick handling to avoid. Pushes it out to Fleming. Fleming at the blue line. Over to Nanny. Nanny tries to sidestep to the middle. Loose puck. Allers trying to keep it in. Allers circles, drops it for T-squared. A shot from the boards up into the netting. That stops the clock at 9:15 left in the first period. 0-0 the score. They're saying the one little trickler shot from Tremaine is the only shot on goal so far this game. Every other shot's been wide, deflected, or none. Face off in Flyer territory. Flyers win it. Loosely back to Nandor. Nandor stops it at the blue line. Stoney sidesteps a check, dumps the puck in deep. T squared absorbs a hit behind the goal line, maintains control, skating out towards the front. A pop fly out on Fleming from the top of the circle. That one got deflected. Nandor gets the rebound. His shot goes wide. Stoney picks it up, pushes it back in deep. Flyers collect, try to center the pass. T squared intercepts. Another pitchfork deep into the Flyers zone. They pick it up and they're going to skate it out as Omaha gets an offensive change on the fly. Nice physical touch by Nandor, nudges his man off the puck. And then Stoney pushes it, or sorry, that was Tremaine, pushes it up the wall to try and get it out. Flyers keep it in. Fleming collects it from behind his goal line. He's gaining speed through the neutral zone, but gets it notched off of his tape. Flyers circling in the neutral zone here as Fleming's still got some momentum. Jack gets his pass intercepted, and luckily, right in good timing, the Flyers go offsides as they were charging in for a 2-on-1 attack. Stops the clock at 8:05 left in the first period. 0-0 the score. We've got Tremaine, Sturba, Jack Davis out there on offense. We've got Bear and Keeney on defense. Puck drop, neutral zone. Tremaine taps it up the boards in the neutrals to Flyers. Flyers, soft touch ahead. Keeney picks it up. Keeney plays it off the boards to himself to get it into the short wall, but then Flyers go cross ice. Cross ice to the weak side. Partial line change by the Mavs. They hustle out there to break up the charge. Flyers forced to reset in their own territory. Puck goes all the way down behind the Flyers goal line. Heater on the forecheck. Can't quite disrupt it, but Bear stops it at the blue line, fires one at the net, and the goalie swallows it up. Nice net crash by Taz after the shot on goal. If there was any rebound, Taz was going to get there. That's a second shot on goal now. Tremaine and Bear with the two only shots on goal in this game so far, but 0-0 the score. We square off in Flyer territory for the next faceoff. Hollers pokes it ahead to himself. Pitchforks a backhand, first big save, and then behind the net. Flyers trying to shake and bake to avoid Vinny. Flyers ringing around the boards too hard. Boss picks it up, rings it towards the net, stopped in the slot, fed back out to the blue line. Flyers on an odd man rush, 2-on-1, nice back checking. Big hit by the Boss, levels him out right after he released the shot. Now Mavs, this is Ike moving his way through the neutral zone, getting pinched but still has control, works his way to the shot, fire, score! Wyatt Ike! The defensive attack! Boss disrupted. I'm gonna say nearby. Yeah, just say yeah. Join. He must have temporarily lost connection. So 1-0. 6:55 left in the first. Wyatt Ike puts the first goal in. Patera skates it in here off this face-off draw. Quickly turned over by the Flyers. Flyers skate their way through the neutral zone, dump it in on Beast. The first shot on goal that Beast has had to handle this game, easily kicks it to the corner. Corner battle, Flyers come out with it. Another big shot on goal, and the Beast with the trapper shuts the door from a bad angle. Flyers with a nice hard shot looking far side, and Beast read it right into the glove to keep this game 1-0. We'll square off in Mav territory now. Clean win from Stoney back to Fleming. Fleming circles behind his net, real hard around the boards to Schneider. Picked up by the blue line, kept it in for a moment, and then Schneider gains offensive territory. Worked over good, lost the puck to the wall. Still getting mean mugged there along the short wall. Flyers trying to bully it up the boards and out, but held nicely at the blue line. Puck behind the goal line now, the Flyers, as the Flyers will try and skate and pass it out. Turned over by Patera momentarily. T-squared, shot, big save. Deflected to the opponent's wall. Tried to attempt a shot from the blue line. Fleming tries again. Goes wide, bounces off the back wall behind the net. Going up the short wall again. Nandor pinches, T-squared. Battling a couple players at the goal line. Feed to the middle, that squeaked out to the defense. and they couldn't quite hold the line. Fleming has some attackers. Soft touch up to Courtright. Courtright centering pass. Nobody but Flyers there. Flyers dump it in. Nandor hustles to it. He's got an attacker. Hits the brakes behind the net. Gotta hurry as there's two men now. He feeds it around the horn to Fleming. Fleming pushes it ahead for Courtright. Courtright can't quite reach it. Flyers slow it down in the neutral zone. Fleming with a long bomb into the territory. That'll give a partial line change for the Mavs. Loose puck comes through the neutral zone, picked up by Bear now. Bear circles in his own zone. Passes it gently ahead to Fleming. Fleming, board pass, gets it up to T-Square. Nice geometry read off the pass, but he got poke checked. Now Flyers feeding it back the other way. Poke checked by Keeney at the blue line. A little back and forth here in the neutral zone as Jack Davis feeds it cross ice to Bear. Bear gets the offensive zone from the dot. Fire, score! Keeney to Bear. Bear with a rifling sniper wrist shot. Stayed on the ice and found the back of the net. 2-0. Omaha Junior Mavericks increased their lead with 4:28 left in the first period. Sturba, Tremaine, Allers line up on offense. Faceoff comes back to the Bear. Bear goes to Keeney. Keeney goes back to the Bear at his own blue line. Soft touch. Goes through traffic. Sturba hustling to the corner for it. Misses the puck slightly. A little help from Tremaine from behind. Board pass up the short wall. Nice charge by Bear. Gets it from the boards and a big save by the Flyers goalie. Stops the clock at 4:03 left in the first period. Mavs slowly increasing their intensity and shots on goal. The board saying 6-2 shots on goal in Mavs' favor now. Somewhat believe in that. A lot of shots have gone wide of the net or deflected wide of the net, but I'd say that's relatively accurate for what we're seeing here in person. Faceoff gets bullied out of the zone. Boss is forced to hurry to it. Rings it up the wall. This one, if it crosses the line, no, icing's waved off. Flyers forced to play it behind their own goal line. 3 forecheckers for the Mavs as the Flyers push it up the short wall. Ike pinches it at the blue line. He gets a little help, but they can't keep it in. Flyers outnumbered by defense. Nice sidestep. Good job by, was that Stonebreaker to poke check and destroy the charge there as Mavericks gain territory again. We'll have a tripping call coming up on the Flyers as Boss drew the penalty. He got the loose puck off of Stoney's tape, and he would continue the charge in the offensive zone, and a misplaced stick right in the skates of Gas draws a tripping call for the Sioux Falls Flyers, and Omaha Mavericks' first power play of the game. 3:26 left in the first, 2-0 Maverick lead, face-off in Flyer territory. Jack Davis, Patera, Paxton on the face-off for this power play with Fleming and Nandor on defense. We'll get that 1 minute 30 penalty on the clock. The puck drops, fed back nicely to Nandor. Nandor sidesteps a little. Nice board pass to Paxton. Fed in the middle to Jack. A backhander. Big save. Goes to the corner. Paxton back to Nandy. Nandy cross ice to Fleming. Fleming top of the circle. Loses control a little. Gets it back in deep. Patera from behind the net. Wrap around to the slot. Jack Davis sword fighting to get it in. That gets saved again. Jack gets it from behind the goal line. Fed back out to Fleming. Winds up Flyers. Big save. Rebound trickles out of the slot, and Flyers are able to carry it out of the zone. They dump it all the way down for an icing call. Great pressure for the first, we'll call it 36 minutes or 36 seconds of this power play. And fresh power play legs will come out. Great power play shift there for that first 36 seconds. Allers, T-squared, Courtright come out on this power play unit with Keeney and Bear. Allers tried to march it forward. Flyers strip him. They start going ahead through the neutral zone. Outnumbered, a shot towards the net, well wide. He's off the boards to Allers. Allers mishandles his pass, pickpocketed. Keeney helps out, gets the puck coming back the other direction. Keeney on a charge with some help. 3-on-3, a shot wide of the net. Courtright, forechecking, pinches his man. Bear picks it up. Soft touch up the boards to Courtright. Courtright, soft touch back to Keeney on the blue line. Keeney, board pass up to T-squared. T-squared, shake and bake one from the goal line. Center feed. Whoa, Courtright had the open net and ended up pushing it a little too far right into the goalie's lap. Oh, he's kicking himself for that one. Nice power play shift once again by this Omaha Maverick team, though. Creating good scoring chances. Same legs will remain on the ice. Allers clean win back to Keeney. Fires one. Kick save to the corner. T-squared hustles to it. At the short wall. Chargers to the dot. Fires. Big goalie save, and he'll lay on it and swallow that. Courtright was right there to take another stab at it. Penalty will expire in 1 second. Will be even strength for both teams. 1:58 left in the first period. 2-0 Mavericks in this lead, and a dominating power play just ending for the Mavs on the first penalty of this game. Clean win back to the boss. He hustles to the blue line, pushes it up the wall. Flyers pick it up, dump it back in deep. If this one crosses the line, it's likely enough. Oh, icing's waved off. Boss rings it up the wall. Nice job by Tremaine to feed to the middle. Sturba got to beat a man, pushes it ahead and chases it deep into the zone. He's still on his forecheck. Nice pinch to keep the puck going deep behind the net. Nice turnover by Tremaine in the opposite corner. Sauce pass to Sturba. Fires. Big kick save. There comes Stoney. Big fire. Another kick save. Puck going to the corner. Flyers feed it up the wall. Gets turned over again. Stoney pitchforks it towards the slot, and Flyers skate it out of their own zone. Flyers try to feed it in gently. That gets past everyone and forced Ike to carry it out of the corner. Ike gets tangled up with a player, comes back to the short wall with Stoney's there to kind of push it and kind of give it some gumption up the wall. No penalty on Stoney as he drew it. His elbow a little too high on that hit. Puck comes out to the blue line. Flyers try to rip one towards the net, and that one's easily kicked to the side by Ike. Blue line by the Flyers will keep it in. A little stick fighting there. A nice job by Stoney to push it ahead to Tremaine. Flyers intercept in the neutral zone. Nice turnover again by Stoney. He'll get this one on net from the red line. Goalie's just going to freeze it. Get control of this game. 35 seconds left in the first. 2-0, your Mavs in the lead. Fresh legs are Jack Davis, Heater, and Taz on offense, with Fleming and Nandor on defense. Got a face-off coming up in Flyers territory. Puck drop. Jack bats it hard behind the net. Flyers get there first, but quickly turned over by Vinny. Vinny feeds it out to Nandy. Nandy gets tangled when he tried for a shot. Loose puck in the slot. Taz tries to bat it deep. He's going to hustle back towards the loose puck on the short wall. Flyers now coming up that short wall, pinched by Fleming at the blue line. Looks like it's onside still. Fleming from the dot. Fires. Score! Man, his shot is impressive. Holy cow. I'm going to say Taz was the assister on that one. Taz was doing the work on the short wall to feed it back to Fleming. Fleming held the line. And as the momentum was shifting out of the zone, he got control, charged the net, and just rifled one far side with that wrister that he intimidates everybody with. 3-0 now, Mavs increase their lead. 12 seconds left in the first. Same legs remain on the ice. Flyers with a face-off win, but it's loose and Taz grabs it. Top of the circle, fires, loose puck in the crease. Flyers pick it up and take it behind their own net. Tries to pass it out of the zone. It trickles out, loose back to Fleming on his own blue line, and the buzzer ends the first period. 3-0, Mavs in control of this game. I'm going to take a minute here to thank Cottonwood Salon and Suites. Thank you, Aunt Jessie, for your support of the Omaha Junior Mavericks. I'm also going to thank Charleston Homes. Charleston Homes has their own in-house warranty team to take care of homeowners after closing. They're voted Omaha's best for 2025. Thank you, Joe Chalin Tech Services, for your support. And thank you, Nebraska Electric Power Sports. They sell fun. So the Mavs, pretty dominating first period here. The shots on goal say 2. I think that's actually accurate for the amount of times Beast has gotten challenged in that first period. 2 saves. One of them a great Olay glove save by the Beast that came at a sharp angle, and I think would have went far side of the net had he not seen that hard shot coming. Those sharp angle shots, they're hard for shooters. They're even harder for goaltenders. So good job to the Beast for having a dominating first period, even though there was only twice challenged. I'm going to call it a well-focused. Those could have been 2 goals. So way to go, Beast.
Sometimes it's harder to stay in the game when there's less shots.
Yeah, well, yeah, goalies get bored sitting back there when they're not getting some action. Fleming, let's see, Fleming, Ike, and who got the first one? Bear. Fleming, Ike, Bear. So Mavericks are gonna meet at center ice. A fresh 13 on the clock for the start of the second period. Schneider, Hollers, Patera on the face-off draw. Win cleanly back to Keeney. Keeney cross to Bear. Bear gonna skate it from the center ice. Push to the wall, wrapping around behind the net. Gonna continue to the corner. Dumps it back in deep for Patera. Patera feeds the middle. Schneider, then to Hollers. Just goes wide off the side. Patera feeds it back into the crease and tries to backhand. No goal, as the puck was covered by the goalie and then came loose, and Schneider tapped it in kind of well after the play was blown dead. That aggravates players when those late pokes come in at the goaltender. So Schneider not making friends down there, but nonetheless a good charge and scoring attempt by the Mavs. Oh, hands down, Charlie. Charlie takes his man to the wall. Puck race here to the other corner. Schneider here in another battle, 2-on-2 battle with Patera and 2 Flyers. Comes out to Allers. Allers pokes it towards the middle, has to chase after it. Flyers pick it up, circle behind their own net. Board pass out of the zone. Comes gently out to Keeney. Keeney goes cross ice to Bear. Bear takes a second. Sauces it ahead, just out of reach of Schneider. Schneider will go for the change. That'll be an icing on the Omaha Mavericks as 1 full minute has ticked off the second period. 3-0 Mavs in the lead, 11:58 left in the second. Thanks, Joel. Face off in Omaha territory. Cleanly won back to Ike. Ike goes around the horn trying to get it up to T-squared. Flyers beat him to it. Keep it in the zone. Feed it back into the corner. Feed to the middle. Loose in the slot. Backhand. Easton with a big quick kick save. Beast kicked that one away. Came out to the short wall. Ike loses his footing. Looked like possibly a trip. Courtright gets the loose puck along the wall. Nice feed up to T-squared. Got one man to beat. Still in control, loses it to the wall. Nice shake and bake around one. T-squared now circling behind with an attacker. Gets himself a little bit of room. Now circling high slot. Puck gets tapped off his tape to Boss out in the neutral zone. Ike, cross ice, tries to hit Courtright. Bounces off his skates. Flyers feed it back in. Courtright gets pinched at the red line. Flyers sword fight it up the wall. Comes out to center ice. Goes to the other side. Flyers regroup on their own blue line. Intercepted by Stoney at the red line. Stoney from the circle. Fires. Big save by the Flyers. Tendy. Here comes T-squared. Feed to the middle. Ike shot. Big trapper save by the Flyers goaltender. Nice attack. Ike with a big pass to T-squared. T-squared fires a nice wrister, and that one got read by the goalie right into the glove. Jack Davis, Wyatt Tremaine, Braden Sturba come out on offense now for this Flyers face-off drop. Flyers bullying their way out of the zone, popped over the head, still gaining speed in offensive territory. Shot and a save! I heard it hit something before it went into the net. Not sure if it glazed the top of Beast's head, but it was still going upward in trajectory when it went into the back of the net. So Flyers are able to decrease the lead from Omaha and make it 3-1 with 10:37 left in the second period. A loose face-off win comes back into Omaha's territory. Nanny rings it around the horn. Poked ahead by Fleming. Sturba can't get it out. A second attempt comes back out loose to neutral zone. Flyers. Back skate. Nice forecheck by Sturba. Uses his legs to keep the puck going deep. Jack Davis turns it over at the blue line. Taps the puck in. And the goalie comes out of his crease to freeze that one and get a face-off in offensive territory. Allers, Heater, Taz come out on offense. The Bear and Keeney come out on defense. 10-10 left in the second. Flyers face off. Clean win. Allers back to Bear. Fires save. Taz almost there for the rebound. Heater back to Keeney. Keeney fires it in hard. Heater's going to get it in the corner. Tries to work his way behind the net. Gets poke checked. Flyers soft touch. And a centering pass to get it out of the zone. Bear picks it up. Soft touch off the boards to Taz. Taz, 3-on-3. Tries to feed the middle. Allers gets his pass turned over. Flyers come back the other way, outnumbered by defense. The poke check stalls it out in the neutral zone, and then Flyers dump it in. Bear picks it up in his corner. Pop fly up the wall to Taz. Bounces over his stick. Flyers are going to reset. A loose pass goes all the way through the neutral zone. Keeney's going to stop it at the blue line. Pass it up the wall. Allers, Schneider, Vinny, Heater going to work along the wall there. Heater and Allers go for the change. Schneider by himself, forechecking down below the goal line. Schneider battling two players, tying up one now, trying to play it off the back of the net. Here comes Patera. Patera with a wraparound, stuck on the side of the net. Ref lost sight of the... Here's a roughing call by the referee. Looks like Omaha Mavericks are going to get their second power play of the game. Sioux Falls Flyers going to the box for a roughing. That battle behind the net with Schneider and a couple of Flyers got a little too carried away, and when the puck came free and went away from them, they kept battling, and that player took it a little too far. So another power play opportunity for your Mavericks. Nice Stonebreaker face-off win back to Boss. Mishandled the pass. Gains to his feet. Picks it back up at the red line. Gaining speed in offensive territory. Stick handles to the middle. Gets it right into traffic. Loses control of the corner. Flyers in the corner. Schneider going to work again. Board battle. Pins up his man. Flyers get to the loose puck. Turned over by Stoney on the short wall. Fed back to the Boss. Boss. Over to the wall, back to Boss. Boss mishandles the pass, cross ice. Flyers skating through the neutral zone. Outnumbered by D. Shot from the blue line. Big save by the Beast. He drops it for the Boss. Turned over in the top of the slot. Flyers mishandle their shot. Take it to the goal line, and nice poke by Ike to foil any scoring chance. Ike pinches his man on the short wall. Flyers mishandle, and Omaha is able to get it out of the zone. Flyers. Board pass, dump in deep. Boss forced to regroup deep behind his own goal line. Ike picks it up as it rings around the horn. Ike, he's going to skate it. Ike gains offense, 2-on-2. He's on the wall, coming behind the net. Wrap around off the goalie's legs. Rebound! And there's Patera to get the loose puck in the slot and pound the power play goal home. Ike to Patera to make it 4-1 power play goal for the Omaha Junior Mavericks. That'll end the penalty for the Sioux Falls Flyers. Now here's the thing, I'm not a huge fan of these tournament rules, but running up the score is what teams need to do to get into first place. When there's a differential, when teams have the same record, they go to who has the most goals for. So unfortunately, it forces these teams to really stay on the gas and run these scores up on teams so that they can make sure they get into a first place position. Some back and forth in the neutral zone once again after the face-off draw. Mavericks with some good momentum here after scoring that last goal from Patera. Power play goal. Passed ahead to T-squared. T-squared. From the goal line, Fires, big goalie save. Flyers now charging out of their own zone. A 3-on-2. Nandor hustling back from the circle. Fires and a big kick save by the Beast. He kicked it all the way almost back out of the zone. T-squared, court right, wings it in. He'll go on the change. T-Square's going to stay on the forecheck. Flyers dumping up the short wall. From the wall out towards the middle. Flyers gaining speed through the neutral zone. Nandor mean mugs his man off the puck. Tremaine stick handles at the blue line. Pass ahead to Skurba. Just behind him. He's going to go on the chase. Flyers pitch at the short wall. Allers picks it up. Oh, a big blocker save. Allers had the net in his sights. Flyers push it out of the zone. Force Fleming to regroup back in his own territory. Fleming and Nandor out there on defense now. Tremaine, Allers, and Skurba. A mishandled pass goes all the way down the ice. Ison's waved off. Flyers pick it up behind their own goal line. Tremaine on the forecheck. Allers picks it up on the short wall, sauces it to the slot, and Skurba had it bounce over his stick. Flyers with a hard wrister out of the zone. Keeney picks it up in his own slot. Board pass up to Allers. Allers centering pass to Heater. One-on-one from the dot. Fires. Rebound. Allers. Now Heater. Goalie making save after save. And then Flyers with a desperate clear. Comes back out to Bear at center ice. Lots of big shots on goal there. Bear. Board pass up the neutral zone to try and get it ahead. And Flyers fire it back in deep. Bear picks it back up behind his own goal line. Board pass through Heater's feet. Trickles back out to Flyers tape. Stoney picks it up at the red line, bats it in deep again. Taz on the forecheck. Flyers intercepted by Bear. Bear charges in, top of the slot, wide rebound. Comes back out of the slot. Flyers pick it up. Now skating it out of their zone. Loose pass through some feet, picked up by Keeney at the blue line, tapped back towards center ice. Flyers charging back in again. Shot on goal. Good stick save by Beast. Looked a little too comfortable. Bear now charging down out of the zone. Stopped up at the red line, tapped back to Stoney, who's covering for defense. Pop fly back into the neutral zone. Flyers now skating into offense territory. Batted in deep. We'll get an offsides. We'll stop the play at 4:29. We've had continuous play for probably the better half of 6 full minutes here without play stoppage here in this second period. Shots on goal say 24-7 in the Omaha Mavericks' favor. So Omaha really dominating this offensive charge and preventing shots on goal. Schneider dumps it in. Patera's on the chase. The Flyers ringing around the wall. Ike pinches to keep it in momentarily, but now Flyers get it out of the zone. 2-on-1. Beats one, beats another shot. Big save by the Beast. Rebound goes wide of the net. Ike picks it up. Rings it off the wall. Blue line for Flyers shot, and that got deflected by Schneider. The boss carries it out. Poke checked, turned over by Flyers. Sauce pass cross ice. Flyers working their way through the neutral zone. Poke checked at the blue line. Patera trucks his man. Schneider picks up the loose puck, dumps and changes. Patera gonna go for the forecheck. Flyers from behind their own net. The one-touch centering pass creates some momentum. Outnumbered by defense. This man's beating everybody again. Shot and score! Number 32 for Sioux Falls just beat 3 defensemen and went top shelf on the Beast. Well, we know who to watch now and guard a little bit more aggressively. 4-2, Mavs still in the lead, but what a one-man dominating play there by the Sioux Falls Flyers to put another goal and decrease the lead. 3:32 left in the second period. 4-2, Mavs in the lead. Court right, Allers, T-squared out there on offense. Fleming, Nandor on defense. Allers, a little brutal attack there at the center ice that ended up having no call. Nandor to Allers at the middle. Allers gets bullied off the puck. Puck comes loose out to center ice. Nandor hits the brakes, changes directions. Nice pass up to Courtright. Courtright tried to drop it for Nandy. That one got stirred up, comes back to Nandy, and he'll go cross ice to Fleming. Fleming sauces it up to T-squared. T-squared backhands into the zone. Allers and Courtright on the forecheck. Flyers off the wall. Nandor to pinch, gets past everybody. Now stalled out on the red line. Nandor dumps it back in deep. Flyers from their own circle. Pickpocketed by T-squared. T-squared, stick handling. Shot, save! And push hard out of the crease. Fortright was there, or sorry, Allers was there for a rebound opportunity. And T-squared not happy about the hard shove he took out of the crease after that shot on goal. Nothing of it. Skates to the bench, gets his change. Face off in Flyers territory. 2:35 left in the second, 4-2. Mavs in the lead. Tremaine, Stoney, Sturba out on offense with Baron Keeney on defense. Face off drop, won by Flyers. Skate behind their own net. Bounce, bad bounce, right out into the goalie's crease, and he swallowed it up. He was trying to go behind his own net, and that puck ended up getting whacked right out into the crease in front. The goalie was paying attention. We'll have a face-off and repeat what we just saw. Stoney loses that face-off battle. Sturba bullies his man down. Loose puck. Two-man battle behind the goal line. Flyers pass it up the short wall. From the short wall, mishandled pass. Stoney comes in. Sturba to help. Finally, Flyers get it out to the red line. Keeney taking a look. Cross ice to Tremaine. Tremaine skates it into the zone. Two attackers, tries to feed the middle. Flyers mishandle. Tremaine tries to get it back in the slot again. Flyers take over. Centering pass. Intercepted by Keeney. Keeney working his way up the board. Pitchforks it back in deep. Flyers resetting in their own slot. Go cross ice. Intercepted by Stoney. Stoney from the dot. Fires. Oh, just gets tipped wide of the net. Taz picks it up in the corner, rings it around behind. Vinny Heater on the forecheck, can't quite get there first. Puck comes loose back out to neutral zone. Stoney to Bear. Penalty coming up. Interference the call. Keeney is going to go to the box. I took my eyes off it. There was some rough play going on in the corner as the puck was getting turned over and some forechecking was going on. And Keeney was obviously playing the man a little too aggressively without the puck being in the vicinity. And so he's going to go to the sin bin for Mavericks' first penalty of the game. Minute 30. Keeney will sit. Face off in Mav territory. Ike and Boss on defense. Ike rings it around the boards. Schneider trying to pinch. Jack Davis will help bully it out of the zone, get past the red line, and then dump it in deep. Schneider on the forecheck. Flyers one touch it out of the zone, gaining speed through the neutral zone. Nice back check by Schneider to stir it up. Puck by number 32 on the wall, trying to feed the middle. That's the dangerous 32 for Sioux Falls. Jack Davis able to pound it off the boards and get it out of the zone. Sioux Falls gaining speed through the neutral zone. 2-on-2. A shot sticked wide of the net by the Beast. Ike bodies his man in the corner. T-square Patera in to help. Sioux Falls feeds it back to the blue line. Sioux Falls defense tries to sidestep. Jack Davis on the attack. Jack tied it up. Shot and a score by Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls defense must have circled 2 or 3 times as Jack Davis was trying to attack him, but he was able to get a shot off and find the short side on the Beast. 3-4. Sioux Falls creeping back into this game. 37 seconds. That was a power play goal by the Sioux Falls team. And, Mavs needing to stay sharp here. Face-off drop. Allers gets tangled in the feet of the referee. Courtright gets control of it, taps it in deep. Allers is going to get there. First shot off the side of the net, comes back to him. Backhand. Courtright gets it bouncing off of his tape. Dangerous number 32, poke check by Allers, kept into the zone, now brought back out. T-squared gets it. They clear the zone and charge back in. T-squared fires. Big blocker saved by the goaltender. Trying to skate through the slot. 32 dumps it on net. Beast with an easy stick save to the corner. Fleming will pick it up behind his own goal line. Trickles out onto the side of the net. Picked up by Flyers. So a little bit of aggressive play at the end of the play there. Like, who was that? Nandor. Oh, Nandor getting teased by some of his own old teammates there at the end as he charged and crashed the net to clear his crease. And there's a bunch of Sioux Falls fans up on the mezzanine behind that were teasing Nandor after that big net crash after the play. 4-3, Mavs in the lead. We're about to start the third period, and before we do that, we want to thank Nebraska Electric Power Sports. They got dirt bikes for all ages, and experience a future of electric dirt bikes with Nebraska Electric Power Sports. Thank you, Joe Chalin, for sponsoring the Omaha Junior Mavericks this season, and thank you, Charleston Homes, providing the best home building experience since 2007 in Omaha, Nebraska. And thank you, Cottonwood Salon Suite, for supporting the Omaha Junior Mavericks. Mavericks look like they might be letting off the gas a little bit. That power play builds some momentum for the Sioux Falls team. They've got one player that they really got a flag on his back now, number 32 for Sioux Falls, that they know not to let their guard down at all. That player is capable of going post to post, like a lot of kids in this league, but he is definitely their difference maker on their team. 27-11 the shots on goal, still in the Mavericks' favor. I say Mavs still got a great chance here to pull off a victory, but with Sioux Falls creeping back the way they are, there's no chance to let off the gas for the Omaha Mavericks. They need to make sure they stay sharp and focused at all ends of the ice. Sturba, Tremaine, Stonebreaker come out for the offensive drop to start the third period with DeBear and Keeney on defense. A fresh 13 on the clock and a 4-3 start to the third period in favor of the Mavs. One awkwardly over to Tremaine. Tremaine will dump it in deep. Sturba on the forecheck. Flyers pass it up the short wall. Now centered. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. 2-on-2 with a nice forechecker by Stoney. A shot off the stick of the Beast goes to the corner. Keeney gets his pass up the wall deflected. Dangerous flyer coming to the middle. Shot loose in the slot and no shot on goal. Stoney's able to skate it out of the zone. A 3-on-2 developing for Omaha. Stoney forced to the boards. Working his way to the middle. A shot on goal. Big kick save by the Flyers' Tendy. Loose puck comes back out to Stoney. He puts it back in the slot and Flyers tap it to the wall. Keeney's going to hustle towards it to keep it in. He does. Feeds it back in the middle. Tremaine shoots and scores! Keeney to Tremaine makes the score 5-3. Mavs come out with quite a bit more momentum than Sioux Falls to start the third period. Great hustle from Keeney at center ice to save the offsides and keep the puck from crossing the blue line. He charged with that momentum towards the net, and then instead of shooting, fed it cross ice to Tremaine where he had an open net. Terrific team play by Team Keeney and Tremaine. Face-off win from Boss to Taz. Taz gets into the zone and Flyers fire it right back out. Bounces off the shoe. Boss fires it ahead to Taz. Taz, outnumbered by defense, gains the zone from the short wall. Fired, save! Vinny Heater's crashing, and his rebound gets kicked away. Flyers now coming out of their own zone. Outnumbered by Maverick defense. Boss pinches. Puck goes in deep. Ike comes back behind the goal line to help. Sioux Falls pushes it towards the net, and Beast with a save. Kicks it back to the corner. Ike feeds it around the short wall. Schneider centering past to Heater. Goes through two-player skates. Puck race to the short wall in the offensive zone. Heater soft touch to the slot. Comes back out. Allers can't get there. Neutral zone reset. Ike over to Boss. Boss. Pass ahead to Schneider. Schneider mishandles. Flyers tap it out of the zone. Boss gets tied up by a bigger player. Penalty coming up. It's going to be on Flyers. Flyers. All right, now both players. Boss going as well as they got tangled. Puck left the play miles away, and the players still just tangling and staying after each other. Boss against a much bigger player there, and the aggressions and tempers flare. Likely a major coming up, I'm sure, because I could hear the yelling all the way up here. And Boss getting settled in just like he did the first game with a major. Not sure if they're going to It looks like two majors are going to be dealt. I see 5-on-5 on the ice. So both players need to sit and calm down. They're going to sit for 10 minutes of the 10 minute and 58 seconds left in the game. 5-3, Mavs in the lead. And good call by the referees here. That definitely got a little overheated and carried away. And the best thing to do is just hand out penalties and calm down players that are getting a little too intense. So, boss probably going to get a little talking to from his coach about how aggressive he's been in this tournament so far. But nonetheless, good for him standing up to a bigger player and playing hockey. Oh, look at this. We got some players trying to distract the goalie on our end now. Sioux Falls testing Beast's focus at the far end of the ice. Beast casually cleaning his crease with his stick, ignoring any sort of distraction that's coming from behind the net. Fun and harmless, hopefully. Beast unfazed by the temptation. Stoney, T-squared, court right out there for the face-off in Flyer territory. Fleming and Nandor on D. Nandy holding the line. Comes up the short wall to court right. Court right. Shot towards the net, deflected back behind. He'll stay on a battle in the corner. Court right. Stick handling in the corner. Through T-squared's feet, back to Nandor. Nandor back into the slot to T-squared. T-squared tangled up. Gets free from the dot, fires, bar down! Nandor to T-squared, and T-squared puts that thing top shelf right where Grandma hides the peanut butter to make the score 6-3 and enhance the lead. 5-on-5 hockey, good control from the Mavs to just keep the puck in the zone and cycle it from player to player to create a good shooting lane for T-squared. 10:33 left in the game. Sturba, Jack, Tremaine out there on offense with Keeney and the Bear on defense. Referee having some extended conversation with the scorekeeper. Coffee's cold now. I'm going to need something warmer to keep the throat soothed. Puck drops. Tremaine hustles to a loose puck at the wall. Jack's going to help. Tangled up in the neutral zone. Batted into Flyers territory. Flyers pick it up, skate it behind their own net. Board pass to get out of the zone. Intercepted by Jack. Jack mishandled his shot. Goes to the corner. Sturba missed his hit in the corner. Tremaine going to go on the attack in the opposite corner. Pinched at the wall, Jack Davis fed back to Keeney. Keeney at the blue line, fed to Sturba in the slot. Slot mishandled. Sturba now on the short wall, fed, deflected off the side of the net. Jack Davis tried to get it to the middle, deflected by Flyers speed, almost on net. Flyers, dangerous player making their way through the neutral zone. Flubbed shot, getting the second chance, and then poke checked away by Keeney. Sturba up to Jack Davis. Jack, his pass got mishandled. Jack's going to dump and go for the change. Taz, hustling off the bench in for a forecheck. Flyers passing it out from behind their own net. Centers it. Loose into the neutral zone. Keeney, one touch back to the wall. The Bear, tangled up with a player. Dumps it back in deep again. 9:20 left in the game. 6-3, Mavs in the lead. Forechecking deep in Flyers territory. Taz keeping the puck below the goal line. A little shake and bake by Flyers. They create some space. Skating it out of their zone. Cross ice pass. Now a 2-on-1. Mavericks with numbers on defense. A shot goes wide of the net. Ike picks up the rebound. Taps it to center ice. Patera. Puck race into the neutral zone. Patera taking on two. Losing it shortly towards the boards. Flyers batted out hard. This one likely an ice. And that'll stop the clock at 8:44 left in the game. 6-3, your Mavs in the lead. 31-12, the shots on goal in the Mavericks' favor now. Face-off in Flyers territory. Stoney, neutral face-off win, goes to the corner. Flyers ringing around the short wall. Trying to skate it out of the zone. Loose puck trickles out to the center. Turned over by Patera. Patera from the short wall loses control to Schneider behind the goal line. Schneider pushes it up the other short wall, and Nandy will have to hustle to it. He pinches his man. Stoney will get the loose puck before it gets into offensive territory. Nice one touch by Schneider up to Patera. Patera, 1-on-2, pokes it into the slot, has to chase a loose puck. Player's kind of holding the stick, but he gains control. Patera behind the net. Wraparound attempt, loose into the slot. Penalty coming up on Flyers. A slashing, definitely attacking and getting after Patera as he was mean mugging and forcing the turnover there. You can see the smack talk happening here as Patera drew the penalty. Slashing on the Flyers, and Omaha Mavericks will get another power play opportunity with 8 minutes left in the game. 6-3, Mavs in this lead. The hecklers behind the Beast have subsided. Beast staying focused down on that end of the ice now without any challengers. A loose backhand by Jack Davis gets saved by the Flyers' Kenny, and Flyers' dangerous players making his way through the ice. Now forced to the boards, a big shot and a blocker saved by Beast, goes all the way around the horn. T-Squared picks it up on the short wall. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. He's got a player to beat. Poke checked off of his tape, set back out to the red line. Boss gets inside the halfway mark, dumps it in deep. Picked up behind the goal line by Flyers, lose their footing. T-Squared hustles to it in the corner. T-Squared up to Ike. Ike on the short wall, fed to Aller, shot! Kicked just wide of the net. Courtright picks it up, rings it around the horn to Nandor. Nandor fires one wide of the net. Ike pinches it from coming out. Fed back into the corner. T-Squared bodies his man down. Courtright gets to the other corner. Feeds it hard out to Boss. Sorry, that's Boss on the blue line. Boss up to the corner. Allers fed to the middle. Couldn't quite get it to T-Squared and Courtright. Flyers now skate it through neutral zone. They're a dangerous player. Toe drags around one. A shot. Glove save. Boss picks up the rebound. Hard shot to T-Squared at center. A 2-on-2 developing. T-Squared top of the circle. Fires. Big save by the Flyers. Tendy. Flyers regroup behind their own net. Boss keeps it in at the blue line. Turned over. Here's Allers. Passes it ahead. Sturba whacking away at it in the crease. He gets pushed out of the slot. Sturba bullies his man right back down to the ground as the pushing and shoving continued after the whistle. Nice job, Sturba, standing up for himself as he was getting shoved after the whistle to get out of the opponent's crease. He did not back down, and he leveled his attacker with a good hard fist bump to the shoulder. Nice soft touch, Bear, but couldn't hold the line. Turned over by Flyers. Bear hustles to it. Poke checks. Gets control. Circles behind his own net with lots of traffic in front of him. Rings it off the glass back out to neutral zone. Flyers go cross ice. Loose puck to Keeney. Soft touch back up to neutral zone. Sturba has his check dodged. Sturba tripping. I didn't notice the trip. It looked like he missed the check and the player fell on his own, but apparently his stick was in a position where it caught the skates of the opponent's player. So Sturba is going to go to the sin bin for a half-ass tripping call. And Flyers are going to get a power play with 5:59 left in the game. Timeout called by the Sioux Falls Flyers here. 33-15, the shots on goal in Mavericks' favor. 6-3 the score. Just about 6 minutes left in the game. Thank you, Charleston Homes, voted #1 in Omaha in 2025 and sponsoring the Omaha Mavericks this year. Thank you, Grandpa Joe Chalin Tax Services, for supporting the Omaha Mavericks this year. And thank you, Nebraska Electric Power Sports. They sell fun. And thank you, Cottonwood Salon and Suites. Aunt Jessie, for everything you do beyond just sponsoring this team. We appreciate all the effort you put in. And thank you, all of our sponsors, for supporting the Omaha Junior Mavericks Bantam Red this season. Players are getting their pep talk and strategy alignment at both benches. A war cry from the Mavericks bench as Tremaine and Stoney take the ice for this short-handed offensive unit. The Beast will make his way back to the crease, and Nandy and Fleming will support him on defense. A face-off coming up in Mav territory. Soft touch and poked out of the zone. Tremaine with some wheels couldn't quite win the puck race, but tangles his man up at center ice. Creates a turnover, temporarily keeps it going the other way, but a toe drag and a dump into the Maverick zone. Fleming will get there first. Fleming continue to push it around the horn. Tremaine pop fly up to Nandy. Nandy had it bounce off over his tape. Soft touch from Tremaine at the blue line. We'll have some back and forth in the neutral zone. Intercepted somewhat by Nandy and then batted back out of the zone by Tremaine, forcing Sioux Falls to regroup in the neutral zone. Stoney on the attack here to stir it up at the neutral zone. He does, bats it towards the blue line. Flyers keep it in. Stoney back in the corner. Fakes the pass to the wall. Trickles towards the slot. Any short a shot attempt went well wide, rung around the horn. Tremaine then will pick it up on the short wall. And a perfect clear, stalls out just short of the goal line. Mavs will get their change on the fly. Fresh legs are Schneider and Jack Davis. Falls gets the zone, shot, big blocker and stick save by the Beast. Puck trickling into the slot again from the boards. Nandor mean mugs his man and bats it towards the wall. Bounces off, comes out to Jack Davis at center ice. 4 seconds in the penalty as the Mavs are about to be full strength. Now in offensive territory, they clear it out of the zone. Nandor sends it back in and goes for a change. Schneider out there on the forecheck. Schneider creating a turnover behind the goal line. Inks its way out to the short wall. Feeds it back in deep to Patera. Patera has a man pinching him on the wall very gently. He gets pushed off the puck. In comes the Flyers again. Nice poke check by the boss. Foils the charge. Batted up the wall. Shot on goal and a big glove save by the Beast. Shuts the door. 5-on-5 hockey now. 3 minutes and 57 seconds left in the game. 6-3 Mavericks in this lead. The legs are Taz, Allers, and Eater, with Ike and the boss on D, and Beast doing a fabulous job between the pipes. Clean win to the boards. Vinny can't quite get it up the wall. Allers going to go on the attack of the short wall. Puck comes on net. Stick to the side by the Beast. Rung around the horn by Ike. That one got past D, and Taz has got some momentum. Taz turns it over on the short wall. Circles on the goal line. Soft feed in the middle. Heater got his shot saved. Nice job keeping it in the zone by Allers. After that ring around the horn, puck comes into Mavs territory, and Ike feeds it ahead to Taz once again. Taz circling in the goal line, trying to create a turnover. It comes around the horn. Allers pinches it, pushes it back in deep. Flyers try to bat it out. Boss keeps it in. Boss pop fly back into the corner deep. Heater's the first one to it. Heater pokes it out to the middle. T-squared in the corner. Getting pinched by the smaller player. He kicks it free. Toe drags around one. Back out to the dot. Looking for a handler to pass it to. That one got tapped out to the boss and out to neutral zone. Ike picks it up. Gains speed into the offensive zone. From the short wall, gets pinched off the puck. T-square comes in to help. He works it into the corner deep. Now going behind the net. Circling back out to the dot. From the top of the slot. Tries to fire, and that gets blocked away. A second attempt. Blocked by some bodies and legs. T-squared still with momentum. Finds a loose puck again. Feeds it back to Ike. Ike from the blue line fires. Kicked away by the goaltender. All the way over to Boss. Boss comes in off the blue line. Playing in the corner. Rung up the boards to Stoney. Stoney covers the blue line. A deflected shot. And that one gets tangled up by Courtright now in the crease. And a goal comes in from T-squared as he picked up the loose puck in the corner and charged back into the slot. Courtright was still getting his stick laid on by an opponent. 2 men down in the slot as T-Squared was able to make the charge and put the puck in the back of the net. 7, is that 7? 7-3, Mavericks take the lead. I'm gonna say, I don't know who got the assist. I think it was Boss on the far side. Boss to T-Squared on that one. Or no, Stoney, I'm sorry, shoot, that's all right. Stoney to T-Squared in the corner. That one went through the slot and probably had 3 or 4 guys touch it. Mavericks get it right back into offensive territory. Bear winds up and fires. That one wide of the net. Right after their goal, they go back to work. 1:48 left in the game. 7-3, Mavs maintaining and increasing their lead. Nice job, Flyers ink it in, and a good back check by Tremaine. Makes them circle at the top of the zone. The dangerous player circles into the slot, forced behind the goal line, deflected by some legs. Bear picks it up, rings it up the horn. Schneider has the stick handle pass one, loses it back deep into the zone. Bear helps get back up to him. Nice cross ice to Tremaine. Tremaine, pop fly to center ice, bounces over Jack's tape. Flyers feed it back out to neutral zone. Bear regroups, goes center feed to Jack, bounces off of his tape, and Flyers charge back into the zone. Stick handling pass one, can't get past Bear though. Bear dumps it back to neutral zone. Allers on the forecheck. Flyers come back into the zone. Shot on goal, easily kicked aside by Beast. Worked up the short wall. Patera's gonna try and get it out of the zone. Flyers create a turnover, loose puck to the slot. Tap back out to neutral zone territory. Schneider on the forecheck. Now Patera on the forecheck. Flyers gaining momentum into the offensive territory. Forced to the wall by Allers. Nice creation of turnover by Allers. Keeney tries to ring it around the horn. Tapped Allers. Keeney goes back to work and foils a scoring chance there. Bear picks up the loose puck behind his own net. Pop flies one out of the zone. This one might trickle. Nope, that one's gonna be an ice. 9 seconds left in the game. 7-3 appearing to be the final score of this game in these 9.1 seconds left here to the end. 38-18 the shots on goal. Mavericks have outshot the Sioux Falls Flyers. Stoney, Taz, and Heater on the face-off draw here. Puck goes to the wall, then behind the goal line. Fleming bullies his man off the puck. Flyers ringing around the horn. Taz pokes it out, and that 9 seconds is now expired. Mavs with somewhat of a controlling win, I would say, on that game. Out shooting, time on attack, I would say, favored. Beast getting celebrated to no end. There's a lot of bodies down there in the crease as they all dogpile on the Beast and celebrate a big victory for Easton Newcomer as he held, let's see, that would be 15 of the 18 shots on goal. He saw some challenging ones. The boys will meet at center ice for the ultimate show of sportsmanship and shake hands. And we will thank Cottonwood Salons for your support this year of the Omaha Junior Mavericks, along with Grandpa Joe. Thank you, Joe Chalin Tax Services, for your support. Thank you, Nebraska Electric Power Sports, for providing the experience of electric dirt bikes in Omaha, Nebraska. And thank you, Charleston Homes, for your support and being voted #1 Best in Omaha 2025. So, Mavericks take a big win here, 7-3. That'll put them 4 points ahead. They were already 3 points up. So depending on how some of the other games turn out, they need to win in dominating fashion like this to be able to charge into any sort of first place challenging spot. So not sure how the other games played out so far, but we can tell you that regardless, we'll play a game again here on the second rink, Rink 2, at 4 o'clock today. 4 o'clock, the Mavericks will face off against the Worthington, Minnesota team. Not sure what their mascot is. I'll just call them Worthington, Minnesota. I believe Worthington was in first place. They won last night.
They beat this team 10-5.
5-10. So they beat the Sioux Falls team 10-5. So likely a good, worthy opponent and challenge for the Omaha Mavericks. So Worthington, I'm seeing some head shakes there. Yeah, Worthington, Minnesota is definitely going to be much more of a challenging pace for the Omaha Junior Mavericks, and we're going to have to rest up and keep our heads up and be ready to challenge the Worthington, Minnesota team to the best of our abilities here. Actually, it says 4:15 is puck drop. 4:15 here at the Recplex for the Rumble at the Recplex in Des Moines. Thank you, everybody, for watching and for your support of the Omaha Junior Mavericks. We'll see you at 4:15.